Everyone, in my opinion, there was a specific iPhone that kind of shocks me to this day. And the first generation iPhone SE really kind of brought back something that I was kind of disappointed with the iPhone SE third generation that just came out. Now, with this iPhone, as you can see, first of all, this phone came out in 2016, early 2016, and this device really didn't, it wasn't really that crazy big of a downgrade coming from the success. The biggest disadvantage we kind of had was the front camera, in my opinion. It didn't have as high of a megapixel count, or it didn't have like that resolution to can film in on the success. But other than that, this iPhone was a beautiful device that still completely holds up. Now, funny enough, I didn't even realize this, but this iPhone is currently rocking iOS 15.4, the beta. So I opened it up and it already gave me that panel that it was already on 15.4. And that's actually really shocking to me because 15.4 is out in a beta. And I was using this phone just a little bit, and I was scrolling through the pages and I was opening up some applications, and this iPhone is still a very smooth and fast device, as you guys can tell. It's a very old, outdated version of Snapchat, but I was kind of scrolling through, I'm like, wow, the animations still look very smooth. Everything about this iPhone is still very good, and it's still in very good, build quality. I bought this specific iPhone, I believe, in 2017. So it's been almost about 5 years, and this iPhone is still in almost pristine condition. It's been battered around everywhere. I have a couple of these, but this is the original one that I had, and this thing still looks almost brand new. Now, back in 2017, this display, the 4-inch panel, was a little bit smaller than before. That's one thing to keep in mind, but it was coming off of the iPhone 5S that was discontinued, or kind of was started in 2013. So for this thing, it was only a 3-year difference from this design, and we already kind of had smaller iPhones at that point too. So that really wasn't that big of a difference in my opinion. But the biggest thing is that between the 6S and the SE, there were some advantages of buying an iPhone SE. People liked that smaller size, and even though it was the cheapest iPhone, it wasn't the cheapest phone of all time, but it was cheaper than the iPhone 6S and 6S by quite a bit, and it really wasn't, missing out on anything except for the front camera, in my opinion, and that bigger display. Now, the performance is still extremely good, and the battery life is still extremely good too. Now, like I said, I bought this iPhone 5 years ago. I want to show you something really, really interesting. So if I make my way over to battery, and I click on battery health, my battery health is still at 100%. Now, I don't use this phone like every single day, but for it to still be at 100%, 5 years later, is very, very interesting. That just goes to show just the build quality and just the durability of this phone for so many years. Now, a lot of people may say the size, may affect the battery life. Well, yes and no. So I'm a big, contender of like, yes, I want the biggest size battery size of all time. And with this iPhone, it doesn't have the best battery life of all time. My iPhone, 12 mini is probably better than this thing. But when compared to the iPhone 6S, this thing actually gave me better battery life, and it still gives me better battery life. My 6S, that I bought, I have a couple of iPhone 6Ss, all them range from like 70% battery health all the way up to like 87% or something like that. This iPhone, for still being 100%, is very impressive to me for the years and years that I've been using it. The performance is still very good for the most part, and for it to be on iOS 15.4 and for it to be as stable as it is, it's very, very impressive to me. The camera quality is still very impressive too. I haven't really had too many complaints about it. You can shoot 4K videos on the back, and funny enough, this is still a pretty decent camera. I could still easily use this thing if I wanted to. I've done tons of camera comparisons, tons of comparisons in general between this iPhone and the latest ones. I've talked about this iPhone heavily for the last couple of years, and without a doubt, this iPhone, even though it's somewhat old now and it's kind of coming off, and it's going to be probably discontinued with iOS 16, I appreciate this iPhone a lot. And it's so sad because Apple couldn't really, they kind of, peaked at the first one they released on the SE lineup. The SE2 was kind of a little bit weirder, and the SE3 was a little weirder, but the iPhone SE original one, Apple did a tremendous job. I'm honestly very happy with the way they approached it, in my opinion. So that kind of covers it, kind of like a love story. If you guys have any other questions or anything, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that means so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.